Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Airfire, and today we're going to be doing another Let's Talk. This one is about drive and passion, and this is something that I've wanted to talk about for a while because it actually really affects a lot of different things, both in tournament play, in how you practice, how you are when you're at home, how you generally interact with Smash. And I've had quite a few issues with drive and passion, and especially regarding my mindset. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it today. Um, so what is drive? What is passion? Now in Melee and other esports, uh, including Smash 4, but only it's only starting to come around because the scene is only starting to become that little bit more successful. Um, there's this idea of being the best. And when you're talking about being the best, it's quite literally, 0, 50, however many tournaments it was, like 50 plus tournaments in a row, won again and again and again. That is what it is to be the best. Ixis in the UK is arguably the best. Obviously after last DBZ, maybe some people are questioning whether he's falling off or maybe he just had a bad day. There's quite a few different things that come into account, but the idea of being the best, loads of people want to be the best, right? Loads of people would be like, "Oh yeah, it would be really cool if I was the best at this video game that I really enjoy." It's just a thing that people fantasize about. But there's a difference between fantasi fantasizing about it and making it a reality. And that's where drive and passion come into it. And there are a lot of things which create drive and a lot of things that create passion for the game. And there's a few ways that it emerges. And I think I'm a really good example of this, actually. Not in the way that you would think, because I don't mind if I'm the best or not. Being the best would be nice. I'd love to be the best, but I'm not I'm not dedicated enough, and I know I'm not dedicated enough to be the best. And I'm okay with that, because the reason that I play this game isn't to be the best. The reason I play this game is because I love the community and because I love going to tournaments and I love all of that sort of stuff. I could literally, well, arguably, in a perfect world, I could go to tournaments and not compete. That 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 would be great. But I enjoy playing the game, so I compete anyway because I don't see the point in not competing, if that makes sense. But where my drive and where my passion is shown, and there's a couple of pictures, especially from Syndicate, which I might be able to edit into the video, where you can see my passion, you can see my drive. There's like a really great meme picture that the North love to use, where it's me like screaming and my hands are like this, like they're blurred, but you can see that I'm going to clap. And you can see that I'm so passionate in the moment. I'm so in love with that moment because I'm passionate about the community. I'm passionate about it. It was Ixis versus Sodrak at Syndicate, and I was popping off for Ixis because I was proud of him because he's part of my what I like to see as the community that I'm most involved with, and I want to see him do well, and I want to see him succeed and show the potential that I see in him, and that is where my drive comes from. My drive comes from seeing other people playing well and wanting them to succeed because of it. So that's where that's the perfect example of passion. I don't feel like, and especially with Ixis, because I feel like Ixis doesn't really want the help, because he sees it as his game, he sees it as his set, and he wants to think about it, and he doesn't want to win because anybody else told him how to win. He wants to win because he knows how to win, and he uses his own knowledge of the game to win. So, but what I wanted to do was to go up to Ixis and say, oh, maybe in the next game you should do this. Now, I'm not really good enough to do that for Ixis because, you know, he's arguably the best player in the country and all of this sort of stuff. But that's what I wanted to do, and that's how I try and act at like regional and national events, is I try and give people advice to make the quality of games better. Because, you know, at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We just want to see really good video games being played. You know, that's the point of the community, right? But that's getting a little bit off topic. Let's get back to the drive, and what's the result of your drive? You know, how does your drive make you act differently? So for me, my drive means that I watch a lot of VODs. I watch an awful lot of VODs. Like, I went back and watched the entirety of DBZ. Even though I was there for most of it, I still went back and watched all of it because I wanted to see the game being played. I wanted to see who did what and how and what happened and all of those sorts of things. That was my drive. I was seeing the community do its best. So that was, you know, that's what the result of my drive is. But then, if you look at, for example, Matthias, the Shulk player from the north, his drive comes out as playing lots of training mode and doing labbing and learning new Shulk techniques and making sure that his tech skill is always on point, improving his punish game, all of these sorts of things. That's how his drive comes out, because he wants to be the best. You know, he wants to be known as the best Shulk player. He doesn't want to be the best, he just wants to be the best Shulk player. And that's his drive, that's his passion. Magi, he just has, I mean, Magi's a little bit of a weird one. Magi has a drive to get drunk. You know, Magi has a drive to go and have fun, and that's what tournaments are for him. And winning tournaments means he gets to have more fun, and that's, you know, that's his drive. That's what he's passionate about, is bringing the community together to have a good time. And that's part of the reason why he's a TO. And then the player side of him is mainly about who he, you know, I'm a player to facilitate the community. At least that's how I see it. You know, perhaps for Magi it's different, but how I see his drive, how I see his passion, that's what I see him playing the game for. Then, not a giraffe, Ben. His passion is to show that his region, the Northeast, is a good region. You know, he wants to show that we're not free. He wants to show that we can compete. And that comes out as he does a lot of labbing. He theory crafts like, oh, well, if I do this input, then it comes out this way. But if they shield, it comes out this way. So all of these sorts of things. And then also, by the same token, he keeps up with his tech skill and his combos and his punish game, all of the things that Matt's doing, because he wants to improve not just himself, but he wants to improve the region. And that's his passion, that's his drive, and I love that. I really do love that. I love Not a Giraffe's passion, and that's part of the reason that I wanted him as part of DGH. You know, these are the things that make us play the game. And the game almost does a really good job of driving you. Because when you win, there's nothing quite like it. There's nothing quite like the feeling of when you pull off a sick combo, or you come back from 2 stocks down, you know, you're on your last stock, they're still on 3 stocks, and you make a 3 stock comeback, and you pop up. There's nothing quite like that. There's nothing, for me at least, there's nothing that pushes me more than when I beat someone that I think there's no way I'm going to beat this person. So a lot of people that were at DGH2 will remember specifically me versus Craig at game in Am Bracket. So I just come off of playing Mr. Moo, and this was when I first picked up Cloud. So DGH2 was when I first picked up Cloud, and I'd just come off playing Mr. Moo, who is a Yoshi player, and I beat him, like, but I kind of expected to beat him. Like, I was kind of like, yeah, okay, this is kind of free, you know. No disrespect to him, he's a good player, and he's actually improved a lot. I watched over his VOD versus Vexiel on Lucrecio's side stream from SD10, and he's actually improved a massive amount, and I'm really proud of him. But I kind of expected to win versus him. Like, I kind of felt like I was a better player than him. So I was happy that I won still, but then I had to fight Craig. And Craig, for me at the time, I'd never beaten Craig. I'd never been able to beat Craig before. And he plays Yoshi as well. And I'm really sorry, Craig, but it was destruction. Now, obviously, Yoshi's worst matchup probably is Cloud. I think it is Cloud. If I'm remembering correctly, it's Cloud. And it was when Cloud was still ridiculously overpowered because he hadn't been nerfed yet. So it kind of sucked for Craig. But when I won, because I'd never beaten him before, because I'd never, like, done anything that incredible before, you know, I felt really, really good about it. And I popped off. Like, I put my controller down on the... like, I was really calm at first. I put my controller down on the table. I shook his hand and I said, I'm really sorry about this. And I just jumped and screamed. Like, I was like, let's go! You know, I was so hyped. I was so excited. Because, like, my drive had finally pushed me far enough to beat someone that I never thought I'd be able to beat. And that's how it manifested. And that ever since then, all I've wanted to do is push and push and push and get better at the game and all of these sorts of things. You know, that is what has made me the smasher that I am today, you know? So that's something that I want everybody to think about. If you take anything away from this video, it's not, oh, Airfire's really cocky because he thinks he can beat Mr. Moo, blah, 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 you know. It's not, oh, Airfire doesn't actually care about the game, he actually just cares about the community, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to take, like, some people probably will take that, but what I want them to take, what I want you to take away from this video is think, what drives me? Where does my passion come from? Because I fear without people's passion, they'll stop playing the game, because why would you play a game that you're not passionate about? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video, everybody. I think this is a really important topic, and I could rant on about it for hours and hours and hours, and I might come back to this topic at some point, because I do genuinely find it interesting to talk about, but I've got to get ready for work, so that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please think about where your drive, where your passion comes from. Leave a comment, you know, think about where your passion comes from and what you can do to keep your drive, because it's so important, especially when we're thinking about Smash. So yeah, I will see you in the next video, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.